Hello, my name is Ashley, or Teehee31. I have made videos before here. They've been Minecraft videos, I've done some singing, some quilting, craft videos. I did a garden renovation of a home that I had in Pennsylvania, and now we are doing an era of moving to Ireland. So I have officially moved to Ireland as of the 28th of May 2026. I am here right now on just a 90-day visa, but my Irish fiance and I are getting married in August of this year, and so after that I will get the proper documentation to live here on a stamp 1. No, it is a stamp 4. I can't get any of these things wrong because it's my livelihood that I depend on. So it is a stamp 4 that I will be getting, and I will be able to renew that until I become a resident, or before I become a citizen. It's all gonna just happen when it happens. For this video, the information that you need is that now I live here in Ireland, and I've never gardened here. I planted some tulips 2 years ago at my fiance's parents' house. That's pretty much all I've done in terms of gardening in Ireland. But if you know me, you know I love to garden. I love being outside. I love mowing. I love the sun. I love planting produce, harvesting produce, weeding, just all of it. I love all of it, flowers, everything. And the house that we're moving into soon has a wonderfully sized garden. It's not big, it's not small, it's perfect, it's fenced in. It's got just enough space where I hope it won't get overwhelming, but there'll be plenty of room for me to do pretty much anything that I want. Especially just for 2 people, I don't need to be growing like a million green beans, although I might want to. There's plenty of room for me to grow the things for my fiance and I. And I also, you can barely see her here, she is my cat. She's also traveled here with me from America, and I'll probably make a video all about that because that was very difficult, and there's not a lot of information online, or there is information online, but it's not clear, and we've gone through that process, and I would love to have had a video explaining things to me. So I will probably do that in a future video, but I am starting my Irish gardening journey. And the best way that I've found to start any of my gardens in the past is just going to the store, seeing what's available, seeing what's blooming, seeing what's growing. Long story short, I've looked at the seeds here in Ireland. They are not cheap. It almost doesn't make any sense how expensive they are. 3 or 4 cucumber seeds was €3, which is like $3.50. And I think that that's crazy. I'm used to buying my seeds from the Dollar Tree, so you would get like 4 for $1, and the germination rate might be low on those, but I think the yield is significantly more than if I bought 3 or 4 seeds from the store down the street, planted them, and yielded 2 for €3. I feel like you would have better luck planting a whole cucumber. So, not saying that's what we're going to do, but that's kind of what we're going to be doing. That's how I'll start my journey so far, and we'll see where it goes. So I've organized the seeds that I want into 3 categories. We've got seeds to harvest, seeds to buy, and then plants to propagate. So these are the seeds that I do plan to be able to harvest from grocery stores. I also think that I can find a lot of flower seeds during autumn, during August and September, when the seeds have bolted, when those flowers have bolted. Just walking around the neighborhood or parks that we go to, I'll be able to pick those flowers and then be able to bring them home and plant them. So the next category are the seeds that I do plan to buy. This list will grow because I will realize that I won't be able to harvest certain things as I think I'm able to. So the seeds that I definitely will need to buy are going to be red and white onions. I know you can buy seeds for red and white onions. I also know you can buy starts.
I think starts are probably easier to start, and so maybe I'll do those instead of seeds, but I am just curious about the seeds from a red and white onion plant. I also need to buy seeds for carrots, and for no reason other than curiosity, I want to try to plant radishes. I've never planted any kind of radish. I've never planted a carrot or a potato or anything that comes from the ground, like the plant is underground. So I'm very curious about how particularly these 3 seeds will be to grow. And then this next category is the largest so far. So these are the things that I'm planning on being able to propagate. So I've started on the broccoli. Green onions are easy. I've done those before. I saw one person do cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Garlic, I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones you can propagate. I saw somebody doing kale that you just like stick a leaf in water and it propagates. Potatoes, basil, parsley, dill, cilantro, those are easy. Done those ones before. And then trees and bushes are ones that I kind of grew up watching my mom like lilac bushes and certain kinds of trees and things like that, and always saying like, oh, we should take a piece of that and put it in some water and it'll grow. And I think we had done it maybe once or twice and usually didn't go anywhere, but the idea stuck with me from that moment. I thought, I know you can do this. And then since then, I've seen people like on YouTube do it. And so I would love to be able to do that because trees and bushes can be so expensive. They're so risky planting. It's such a big investment, and then it dies because it's wintered or it's frosted or something like that. And so being able to take a cutting from a tree and then putting it in water and watching it grow from nothing seems like a better option.
So I don't want to do too much before I actually move down to the home because then it's just more things that I have to bring down there. And I'll have plenty of time to do these things once I get there. I'm just getting very anxious to start. So I've started with green beans and broccoli. The green beans I have opened up and I have separated the beans and I have put them in a little cardboard box to dry out. Whether these germinate any kind of anything is, I have no idea. I have no idea. Something that I learned a long time ago about plants, and it's stuck with me, is that plants want to live. They want to survive. They will do it if they have an inch of possibility. So that's my hope with these. Please let me know in the comments if you have any idea about any of this. I look it up online and everybody's like, don't worry about it, just put it in the ground. Don't worry about it. There are obviously better ways to make a higher germination rate. I'm not interested in that. I'm not very interested in it. I'm partially interested in it. The other plant that I'm doing is broccoli. Somebody online has posted that they've done this. And I ran to the store, bought 2 things of broccoli, and I have put them in these little yogurt cups. So.
Now I will say I've put these in their little yogurt cups about 3 days ago. And those little white tubes that are popping out of the scales, those are new. So those are, do you see the green little tubes that are popping up? That is new growth just within 3 days.
I've always focused in my gardens in the past on vegetables, like what can I produce for me? And I've learned in recent years that pollinators are obviously a great thing to have in your garden. They come from flowers. So planting flowers in your garden, they're not only beautiful, but they bring a lot of pollinators in your yard to pollinate your vegetables. I also think that just landscaping in general is like something that I don't know if I'll ever quite master. I've never tried it. I can't say I've never tried it. I think I've never tried it. I think maybe I have tried it and people would be like, no, you definitely have, just because I've done less, blah, 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 blah. What I'm trying to say is I want to be really great at every part of gardening, including landscaping. It's not the first thing that comes to my mind, but it's something that I want to. Oh, I just realized I'm looking at the wrong. I want to get better at landscaping. I want to be a good landscaper. So, what does the American do when she visits a different country? She goes around with scissors to the parks and she steals the plants from the park. So that's what I did. I want to take you along this journey with me, not only because it's fun, but because it's funny. I think walking around with some scissors and getting your produce from the getting your seeds from the produce section, it's things I'm like, why aren't more people doing this? So I want to see if it's as easy as I think it is. This is my experiment, and I'm doing video evidence for my future self to make sure that if this works, I want to know why, and if it does work, I need to show everybody that this works and that it's easy, and you can have a luxurious, gorgeous garden with finding resources in your own community.
So we begin here in the backyard of the apartment that we're staying in right now. This bush is right outside of the window where the kitchen sink is, and I've been looking at this bush and I love this bush, and this is kind of what sparked it all. I thought, I know you can clip those, put them in water, and you should be able to grow them. And then I started thinking about how expensive the seeds are here, and I thought, okay, this is what I'll do. So this was my first victim. Will it grow? Who knows? It's also fun just to be going outside and taking clippings from a tree and then keeping them in your home in water. They're pretty. You know, even if they don't grow into the ground at the end, they're still great to have in your home in the water. I also want to mention that one of my biggest goals for my garden is going to be recycling old things, recycling things that shouldn't be thrown away. Obviously this is a glass jar, it can just get recycled, but using it also until I'm done with it is also fine. So this is an old teriyaki jar, and then the other one is a pasta sauce jar. So I'm going to try to save what I can, but also know, like, I need to understand that getting rid of trash is also okay. I have a bad habit of hoarding things that I think have another purpose, and they might, but it doesn't serve me at the moment. So this is my attempt at being kind of sophisticated about keeping trash. So this was the broccoli about 3 days ago, and it does look the same, except just those little green tubes that are coming out now. So, and then there's the bush. See, there's the bush that I took it from. So I got a little bit of confidence from going outside with my scissors like a maniac and taking those 2 sprigs of leaves from the bush. So I have put my book back on, I've gone outside. My cat is mad. She wants to come with me. She can't. She's not allowed. So I walked to a park nearby and made sure, obviously, public parks, you don't want to go into somebody's yard and steal their shit. Just make sure you're staying on, like, public property. I guess I don't know the laws about it or anything like that. If somebody's uncomfortable with me doing this, they can tell me and then I can kind of walk away. That's fine. I'm not really worried about it. I am an American in a different country. I know it actually doesn't matter. Do I feel weird about it? Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, these trees, please, 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 bring scissors, bring snippers. You can't pull these. It's actually impossible. You have to cut them. So I took 2 clippings from 2 bushes that I found in the park, and this is my pile. I'm proud of my pile. I've had enough. It's time to go. And I also do end up rinsing them just in some cold water, just to get the bugs off of them if there are any. I did, like, have them sitting out for a while. I went to the park and I sat down and read, and so the bugs probably fell off at that point, but I just wanted to be sure. So I did rinse them and I dabbed them dry. They're gonna be fine in a little bit of water. And there's really no rhyme or reason to the way I'm cutting them. I did have to use a knife to cut them because the scissors were not strong enough. I know there are tips and tricks about where to cut them so that there's the most growth, but I just wanted to get them in the water. I will do this as a trial and error and not look anything up. I have propagated pothos before, and I know the trick about the pothos plant, but it's also one of those things you could just cut a pothos plant and put it in water and it will grow. A trick I did learn probably in elementary school when we would like come home with roses for our moms and stuff was to cut at a bias so that there's more surface area for water to enter the stem. From this cutting, you can see kind of where the public park people had trimmed. That dead piece in the middle was kind of where that had been cut off and a new growth had sprouted. So what you'll learn with gardening is where you cut is where it will grow. It will grow from the opposites of what you cut. So if you want a tall bush, you'll cut the sides. If you want a short and stubby bush, you'll cut the tops. That's my experience. That's what I know. I'm sure there are limitations to that in so many different kinds of plants. That's the knowledge I'm going into with. So if something's wrong, it's because of that. These are little cute flower ones that I found. I would assume you're meant to cut trimmings after they've blossomed. We will find out. If you've made it to the end of this video, please know that this is not a tutorial. This is me just doing what I can with the information that I have and hoping that something happens, and if it does, then that's great. It's low effort, it's wonderful. We'll see how this goes. I will keep topping off the water because adding oxygen to the water is very important when they're in this kind of state completely without soil. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to start this journey with my Irish garden and figure out everything that I'm going to learn, all the mistakes I'll make, and all the great things that will come from it.